triple kill, but Soda Finn, he'll deny the plant. He sees 2 more kills. Oh my god! Soda Finn will find more!
Where's Miracle? He's trying to come upstairs, but Crafty will get the ace. He'll get the plant. He'll do it all.
Device, misses shots. He's going to have to go for the front. He pushes on through. Dylan is better.
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrants is finished off, and they all line up for Bone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Week 3 of SCS. I'm so excited to be doing this today because I've got a very special friend, one all the way from the other side of the globe, other hemisphere, other everything. He's literally in the morning. It's Blue Panda. How are we doing, man? Like, this is crazy.
It's good. It's a sunny day here in New Zealand. We're ready to get into some Rainbow Six Siege though. And look, I couldn't have asked for a better matchup to jump back into SCS. I took a bit of a break last week, had some stuff going on. Unfortunately, missed out on an opportunity to cast. So jumping in this week, I'm stoked. I'm here with the one and only Adam Jasmine Jassim, the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, the tie-dye king himself. Yeah,
yeah. It's gonna be quite the interesting match. Obviously, it's going to be Honor versus Aggro, and Aggro are missing a key piece. We won't have to go into why, but they are missing a key piece to their roster, recently picking up Splash. Splash last played on Gatekeepers, I think, before they were signed to Team Mystic, and he is now, I think he was dropped with Apollo. They either left or whatever. They had their differences, and they split apart, and now Splash is on Aggro, and playing against Honor, who are a team, obviously, in Challenger League. They're looking to be pretty strong. So far throughout the season. It's going to be really interesting, but Aggro are currently at the top of their table, so they've got a lot to prove here. They've gotten themselves all the way up there without a key player of their roster. Can they keep themselves up?
I mean, they've had a really, really good showing so far in the season. I mean, taking down Synthetic 9-7 and 7-0 in map number 2. I mean, if that's not a solid showing for Team Aggro, I don't know what is. They also beat out Neo, so they're looking solid coming to this week. Honor has looked a little bit shakier. They took that big win against PDHM, but they went 1-for-1 with Synthetic, who is a team that we've already seen Aggro beat. So there is a couple of questions coming into this, and I think they will be answered when we get into sort of the map vetoes, see where we're going to be heading today, see where these teams are going to be battling it out. And obviously, with the new patch just dropped, there's some minor changes that are coming through in this week that will impact potentially how this round plays out. But there you go. You can see the standings between the two groups on the scoreboard. Aggro currently first place in group number B, or group B, on it just behind, unfortunately, and missing out on some of those key points throughout the run of the start of the season. So I think, yeah, this series, this matchup is going to be a determining factor in just how far Aggro can keep ahead of the rest of the pack.
If if Honor can't secure a 2-0 today, if they can't secure 2 maps in a row, they will not be going up into first place, and Aggro will simply hold on better because they'll obviously get 3. So in order for Honor to actually get themselves ahead, they must take 2 maps, whether by OT or whether by... actually, I think if they take it by OT... they still wouldn't be in the lead. Because if they take both maps by OT, Aggro would be ahead by 1 point. So Honor actually have to take a map at least by OT and take a map before OT. So in order to get that first place, there's a lot of work that they're going to have to do against Aggro. You have to wonder if they're prepared, if they're ready for this, if they're ready to try and retake their place up at the top spot. Because obviously they're the Challenger League team. They're the one with the bigger name. They want to prove themselves more than anyone else because they want to show that, they are a dominant force. But against a team like Aggro, T3 team, a stack of gunners, they can't do it. It's going to be really interesting to see. So, see if they can contend with the top team in Group B.
Well, speaking of gunners, why don't we have a look at who is going to be taking the field today here between the two teams and stacking up the rosters there. On Team Honor, you've got Pox, Surf, Wolfsies, Aero, and Oreo, which is not going to be confusing at all in the slightest. On the other side of the coin for Team Aggro, you have Eddie, Silent Asian, Kicks, and Splash. Both teams who have proved themselves incredibly capable. And look, I would be surprised if there wasn't some very, very clean highlight plays today.
Absolutely. And the thing about, Aggro coming into this, they got Eddie, Silent, Asian, Kicks, Splash. All them gunners. Xbox gunners. Splash is kind of the standout. I don't know if he's been playing with the Aggro guys as much as they've been playing together, but they've been very strong. Obviously, Eddie has been one of the most top-performing players. And, well, the man who, I guess, shouldn't be named, Mr. Greenbox himself, unfortunately, was not very, he was a pretty quintessential player to his team. He had a lot of importance. So to get rid of, to have him gone, due to obvious reasons, it's going to be quite tough to see if they can if Splash can really fill the roles of Aggro, who are such a frag heavy oriented team, while Honor are kind of like your more tactical. They run on strats, they scrim, they play as comfortably as they can, in order to try and get the edge up. They're just gonna run into their own strategies. They're not gonna take it too off the outside the box. They're just gonna be themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that then begs the question, Honor, they're going to come in, they're going to play their game. Aggro, are we going to see them live up to their name, go for the aggressive plays, try and catch, Honor off guard that way? Because I've seen teams who very drilled, very strategic play style will get upset by an overly aggressive, heavy pushing style of play. And that is something that could be on the cards today. I mean, you're running under the team banner Aggro. Surely that has to be an indication of how you're going to be approaching the game.
Aggro are a pretty good org. They are a very nice org. So, I'm interested to see exactly how this goes for one reason only. Everyone complains about the fact that CL teams are in SCS, and right now none of the CL teams currently lead their group. It is Mystic and Group A, and then it's Aggro and Group B. So if Aggro hold on to this lead, they're going to secure their spot with the T3 team. They're going to be the T3 team that leads Group B, which I think has 4 CL teams. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 4 or 3, and that's a pretty good accomplishment to kind of be the helm of the group that has your most prestigious teams in the entire league. Like, that's going to be something big here for Aggro. This is a pretty important game for them, but obviously they don't have to do much. As long as they just don't forfeit at least 2 maps, they'll be in the lead. They'll keep their lead in the group, albeit not that close, but I mean 3 points ahead, and the fact that you can get a total of 6 points maximum, that's a pretty hefty way to send Honor down lower into the group and send yourself back up.
Yeah, well, maps are going to be a deciding factor in how this plays out. We'll get them up on your screen now, figure out where we're going to be going. It's going to be Kafe and Oregon on the docket. Aggro picking up Kafe, Honor picking up Oregon. So 2 standards of the competitive pool. Unfortunately, we're not going to see Chalet here. I would have been keen to get my first game of Chalet under the belt, but kicking things off on the defense for Kafe, it's going to be Honor and attack, or actually both maps, it's going to be Honor starting off on the defense. So interesting that we see Aggro go up for the attack going into Oregon, a team that is well known as Honor, is strategically minded as Honor. What should really, Jazz, you'd know much more about this. Should you be opting into a weaker side on a map that is pegged to be a little bit more defender-sided at the moment?
I think that is really interesting. I don't know if that's like a strategic thing. I don't know if that's a scrim-oriented thing. Oregon can really come down to your operator bans, however. Like, if your operator bans are solid, if you know exactly what you're banning, then maybe you could see something different. But Honor have been historically pretty decent at Oregon. So you're not taking Honor to a team that they absolutely blow at. Like, this is a team that they're pretty good on Oregon. So the fact that they're going to be going on attack, it's kind of cocky, but we'll have to see because, Aggro, the more aggressive team, attacker-sided meta is sort of, it's becoming a little bit more balanced, especially with the new Gone 6, which is going to be in play, by the way. There is no ESA, sort of like, oh, you can't use 6 pellets. Well, cheers, ESA.
No more ESA anyway.
You were a good one.
Look, coming into this Kafe to kick
until you paid
off. Look, so Aggro, they've picked this map. They're going to be starting off the attack, which they've opted for in Oregon. Do you think we could see a very competitive first half here?
I mean, like, it's interesting because Oregon, I think Oregon, if Aggro can get their hands on Maverick, that's one thing. Like, that can send you off a ways away. It just comes down to those operator bans. But again, there's Mute. There's Kaid. So if you don't have Maverick on Oregon, it can be really tough. But we're going to start us off here on Kafe. Honor have the defense. Now, this map, on the other hand, oh boy, this map. Kafe can be anyone's game. It is one of the most balanced. I say balanced with a grain of salt, but it's a decently balanced map. Depending on your operator bans. And Honor starting out on defense, they're a pretty strategic team. I think that they could benefit from a Kafe pick.
Balanced. I think the more appropriate term would be volatile. This map is incredibly explosive. Either team capable of popping off at a moment's notice. And well, Maverick ban coming through to kick things off. I'm not as sure about this one. I have seen teams still opting to ban it on a map like Kafe. I feel like potentially there are some more stronger bans that you could opt for, but with a Thatcher, that one again makes sense. It does leave up some interesting stuff. Ace has been let through, Habana is let through, so there's still that security, there's still that potential for the hard breach that they don't really need to rely on the Maverick for. Defensive bans, I would imagine a Cade, Mirror, something potentially a Malusia or Wemai even. And, oh, okay, there we go. Valkyrie, it's going to be Aggro denying the information operator herself.
Valkyrie's a very powerful operator on Kafe. I mean, like, she's been not only finding herself, like, really important on every single map, but also, I mean, especially Kafe. Kafe, I guess your worst offenders are Kafe, Club, and Coastline. Kaid's going to be banned standard. You don't want to have a Kaid on the board without a Thatcher. So this is going to be interesting. With no Maverick on the board and no Kaid, you have to wonder if they're going to be running Mute a lot. I think that's exactly what's going to happen because, I mean, Mute is just one of the best operators in the game right now, by far. I mean, there's so much you can do with Mute. Importantly is wall denial. Kafe can really help out with wall denial, especially on the top floor. So it all comes down to that. But round number 1, we're going to be going downstairs here for honors. So this is interesting.
For Honor is a different game, Jazz. Yeah, Ubisoft. So you got the right.
I think I might be on the wrong clean feed.
Yeah,
they could be the sub For Honor game. I don't know what's going on.
But I mean, Kitchen, it really is 50-50 for a lot of teams at the moment. Do you go upstairs? Do you go downstairs? I have rarely seen teams opt to go to the second floor to kick things off here, but I mean, with the setup they're looking at running, it's looking good. It's looking solid. They've got the tools to deny some information. We're not going to see the mute, so there is no breach denial being brought here. So I mean, this just indicates that Honor are going to be looking for a more aggressive contest here on the first floor.
Right, and that's typically what we see. I guess you want to call it the retake strategy. I like to call it the penguin strategy. Well, I guess there's no Capcan. Until there's a trademark Capcan, it's the penguin strategy, but there is none. But yeah, a lot of teams have been finding themselves playing aggressive around the freezer side, especially. They put a player inside of VIP. Sometimes they either reinforce or make holes on the freezer wall. They open up the freezer hatch, and they just play their lives and play their time and waste as much time as they can. It's kind of been a shift towards that sort of we need to hold bakery kind of meta, especially without Maverick on the board. You know, bakery pushes have become kind of static for attackers. So it can be quite challenging to get yourself inside a bakery without a Maverick. So teams have opted to switch over to a freezer push, and with that comes a response from Honor on defense. They'll be holding off the backside because it's just objectively a better way to push without a Maverick.
Already we are going to start to see Aggro pressuring in towards the building. Aristotle Aero is taking some early aggression. Taking some damage off the back of it. That VIP hold that you were talking about, the Jaeger in that position. Going to be forced out for the moment. Great use of utility from Aggro. They paired the smoke grenade with the breaching round to flush him out of that shield position. I mean, Aero, there was no way he can contest that without conceivably being taken down even further, even risking death. So Aggro, they're playing heads up siege.
Getting rid of that shield very early on, it's a challenge that in and of itself, it's such a challenge, but to get rid of it that early, now you can really start to flush out this player inside of VIP. Usually it's Oreo on smoke, that's going to be the one that's playing there, so he can delay a lot of time, and the push is usually to get into dining or get on dining window and just catch him out making a mistake, and if he doesn't, you just go for a pinch push. Without that shield, though, that is crucial, but they actually have Arrow playing there, so they're not going to play any denial, they're not going to play any utility on that. They're just going to put a player inside of there. Now you have to wonder if that's going to work out, considering Arrow is on such low HP. If he swings, it is a very rare likelihood that he actually gets away with it, or he gets refragged immediately. So Aggro are stalling out, however, just getting themselves upstairs. Splash might have just lost a big opportunity there onto the player sitting inside of VIP, but so far Aggro have gotten a lot of control. They've been able to get themselves situated on the first floor. You have to wonder if they're going to start to work their way down soon.
A lot of utility already being drained. Two entry players here for Aggro without drones, so unfortunately no information can be provided that way. There's a lot of hesitation, there's a lot of stall coming out here. We're entering the final minute of the first round, and we are just seeing our first kill going down. That splash to hit the dirt. Pox finds it. P10 only in hand. That 1.5 times is absolutely ruthless. Losing out on the Zofia as well. Going to be a little bit crippling. Asian at least going to refrag, finish off Arrow, the damage that he did earlier on. Somehow Pox still alive. Will be found eventually, but I mean, that's a lot of investment. They've still got no secure way to get into the bomb site without being conceivably threatened here. 3 toxic canisters now, 2 still on the board to stall things out. Honor, they're still looking solid to take this.
They have so much utility to deny this plant. Oreo still has 2 smokes inside of Rice. He's being challenged from above, but he's still able to get those babes out. Freezer push is coming on through, but only 15 seconds left. Surf is going to be so important. Can he get Necrodrone inside of the site is the question before Silent goes for the plant. Now, going to get himself into the corner. Surf has the denial angle. He just has to find the person planting, and he does. He'll deny the first plant, and Asian has to look for for the shield, or he has to look for this drone, or else the round is just simply over, and there it is. Echo used to beautiful perfection. Unfortunately, Aggro were just simply not able to find it because Oreo played that so well. He dropped it behind the balcony, and they got rid of him. It's going to be round number 1, going in the way of Honor, simply due to the utility. It was a 2 versus 4 against Honor, but their Echo was still alive.
Look, I mean, that is just at no point in the round did it feel like Honor weren't playing their game. They controlled the momentum throughout the entirety of that round. Aero and VIP stalling out the push from VIP entrance and just holding off 2 players single-handedly. He didn't even have to swing the angle. He just had to hold that presence and maintain in that area to keep them off the angle. And then Pox playing around Whiskey. That just every single player on it, regardless of whether or not they died, did their job and did it to a T, held off their opponents. And unfortunately, they just didn't have the utility needed for Aggro to clear out what denial was available. And yeah, the time just ticked away, and all they could do is sit there and stare.
I'm really surprised that Oreo actually managed to live so long on Rice. There was a sledge above him, and I'm gonna assume that the nades are all gone, because other than that, really should have had that one. But, you know, I'm gonna assume nades were gone, and obviously you can play above Rice safely, but if you swing out even just an inch, if you swing out an inch of Rice, which is, in case you didn't know, anyone watching, Rice is commonly known as the area behind the prep window, not inside of prep, but outside of prep, that you play safely not only to swing prep window, but also to get gas grenades in through double. That's Rice. Thank you so much, Nova. You are beautiful. That is Rice. And that's where Oreo was. But the thing about Rice is that you can't open directly above it. I think there's a train above it, so you can open above the sort of like the entrance to Rice, if you will. Like, you can kind of open up a little bit next to it, but you can't actually open above Rice. So what he had to do, what Eddie had to, or what the sledge had to hope for was that Oreo was going to be able to swing out, and he was able to just catch him off guard. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. And Honor won the round simply off the fact that not only was Oreo basically able to cut off any push into Bakery, which is where your Echo was currently positioned, but it was also him able to just stall out any sort of entry that wasn't Freezer. Oreo, how's he got to kill with a shot? Is he roaming on smoke? Okay, not roaming. He's kind of playing offsite, but that is dirty. That's going to be Asian going down really early on, and there's just literally nothing that Aggro can say about that.
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a loose roam, just playing around the stairs. It's something that we have seen teams doing a little bit more. Quick frags going both ways. Oreo falls, so does Splash on the retrade from Aero. Big damage already. This is the most aggression we've seen so far for the last round. They didn't get anything done until, you know, the last 40 seconds. Now, we're still only just edging into the second half of this round, and there's already 3 players in the dirt. Unfortunately, though, for Honor, that is Oreo, the smoke down Aero, now being threatened as well. A large portion of their stall utility now gone means they're going to be finding themselves in a little bit of trouble. Luckily, Wolvesy is as well going to take down Silent. They're just picking away at the numbers. This is exactly what they need to be doing. Looking for more. This upstairs hold for the second floor bomb site is so pivotal in team strategies. You're not going to see that hard bunker second floor hold. You need to control the verticality of this map. And I mean, Honor are just doing this phenomenally.
4 versus 2, and Honor have mirror windows to work with. They also have Diffuser. Actually, don't tell me that's inside. I think Diffuser is inside a cocktail. How has that happened? I think that... Oh, no. Case is... Wait, where is it? Oh, is it on the roof? Am I blind? Where's the case? What the heck? I think it is on the roof. Well, it's not going to matter as Serve takes down Eddie, and all of a sudden, Kix is all alone in a 1 versus 4. Honor just held this so well. Aggro were really split up here, and it is going to be Serve from up above to take him down. I mean, Honor were just holding that so well. They didn't... I don't know if they swung. I think what happened was... I think Aggro swung. I think Aggro just swung right into Honor's crossfires, just kind of waited and baited, and they took 1v1 gunfights that they simply lost. Honor are not a team that you can take a 1v1 gunfight against very commonly, so really good stuff from them. Playing pretty good so far. Basically clinical siege. They'll take round number 2.
I mean, we talked about this. Is it going to be a case of Honor coming in, drilled, disciplined, strategic-minded, and then you've got Aggro who will be aiming to live up to their name. A lot of playground play, a lot of swinging, a lot of messing around. But you've got to wonder: do we see Aggro pull it back a little bit? Do they say, we've tried this for 2 rounds in a row now. We're not winning our ones. We can't be contesting this way. We need to play off of each other and look to go for those refrags. Or are we just going to continue to see them just try and force their way through into the bomb site and get traded out and fragged out round after round? And we have to wait and see. But you look at this. We're going to the 3rd floor. We're 1 round away from a fullest rotation of bomb sites here from Honor. And again, last round, same as the first one. It never for a moment felt like the momentum wasn't being dictated by Honor.
Yeah, Honor are just kind of they're playing really passive. They're not budging. They aren't doing anything too crazy. They're letting Aggro run around for a little bit, and they're basically monitoring them. Like, all right, slow down here. We're gonna take over now. Like you said, they're not controlling the momentum whatsoever. And usually that's a bad thing, but they're waiting. They're playing really patiently. They're holding their crossfires until somebody walks in them, because theoretically speaking, inevitably somebody is going to have to walk into your crossfire as a defender. It's really interesting to see that, because, you know, under their very passive team, they have a little bit of offsite holds, but that's really about it. But yeah, Aggro, they're playing for these ones, and they're just simply, Honor is simply not giving them any.
Yeah, I mean, even when presented with an opportunity, I mean, in the first round, we saw Aero could have gone for the reswing, tried for a fight, even though there were 2 players there. He didn't. He just waited. His presence alone was one of the key factors why it took Aggro so long to get in a position to contest for the bomb site. He held his positioning. He didn't over-aggress where he didn't need to, and we saw that same thing in the last round. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same thing here again on the 3rd floor hold. Honor are not going to give them the opportunity. It's going to be on Aggro. They're going to have to force something, and unfortunately, they haven't been able to make it work just yet. So the onus is now on them to find, you know, a weak point in the armor of Honor and look to abuse it, because at the moment, I mean, it's literally like facing a Monty in a doorway while the diffuse is down, and you just have no way to clear him out.
Does look like Honor are going to be going for a white push by the looks of it. They've got Silent over on Cocktail Windows, not really doing anything with this hard breach, which tells me that that's what's going to be happening. They will get rid of 1 mirror window inside of Cocktail. I believe that is Asian, so really good start. But again, when is this push going to come? Where's it going to come from? Yeah, it is definitely going to be a white push. But thing about this that is working against this is Oreo has a shotgun. He has a shotgun on white. So eventually, whenever Asian wants to move his way up, he's going to be challenging right into a shotgun. Currently, Aggro have nobody positioned on the windows inside of white, so Oreo's safe to play around here as much as he can. Asian, he's got one dropping on his balcony. That's going to be an air jab that takes down Wolfsies. And Asian finds the opening pick of this entire round. There's only 2 minutes gone by, and he'll finally get a frag. Honor, already on the back foot.
They lost the Rooney. I mean, look, in all honesty, she was running DMR as well, so it's not like it's the P10 Rooney, which is a little bit more contestable in some of these gunfights. So it's not the biggest of losses. If they'd lost someone like the Maestro, or even potentially the Jaeger, I think it would have been a little bit more crippling. But with 37 seconds left, we know they can play from behind. Aero finds one, traded immediately. They lose Box as well to Silent with that AK-12. Surf hits the dirt, and there we go. Aggro, they slowed things down a little bit. They played the tempo game, and they won their gunfights off the back of it. This is what they needed to do, and you just look at the angle there, played to perfection by Aggro. They timed it down to the wire, and that's exactly how they need to be approaching this matchup to win it out here.
Unfortunately, Honor just kind of didn't expect that Aggro were going to go for that window push. They didn't expect them to repel in, and they had no mirror windows facing that side. Both mirror windows were facing into either bar or I think it was into freezer. So not only could you have mirror windows not working for you, but also working against you. But at that point, what angles do you really have established to work on those windows, right? Like, the only thing you can do is swing. And, well, to say at least, Honor aren't the swingy type team. So if they end up dying, or if they end up losing that one on the window, they forfeit a really big position, because they're all about positioning. That's what Honor is. They're a very influential positioning team. So that's what Aggro are going to have to hammer away on. They're going to have to find the weak points of Honor's defense. They're going to find where they can challenge this positioning that is so strong by Honor. But we're going on to a bomb site that was won pretty convincingly whenever it comes to the utility game. Although Honor were down 3 people to 4 last round, or down to 1, because Aggro had 4 people alive and Honor had 2. They had so much utility up. They had 3 Toxic Babes, they had 2 Echo Drones, and it was simply the round being over. So let's see if they can deal with this once again. We saw very early on that Aero's shield got cleared inside of VIP. So Honor, or Aggro sort of have, you know, they kind of have an idea of what they want to do. Let's see if they can execute it well.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's just is a difference between knowing what you want to do and then making that happen and making it a reality, as we saw the first time this bomb site was approached. And Asian and Silent going to be approaching it here again, going for the same start, open up this VIP garage wall. I mean, look, first blood drawn, Silent onto himself, but hey, it's first blood nonetheless. They're going to chuck the smoke out again, go for that shield contest, and, well, do we see anything come of it? They've stacked up the ADSs this time, so it's not nearly as easy a job. And I think, yeah, they're just going to have to give it up. Pox is going to be safe for the moment. Aero has pulled off into a different position to hold in the main kitchen itself. So I think this is just Honor showing their ability to adapt on the fly and change up their strategies to meet their opponents.
Adaptability is a game of Siege. That is literally what it is all about. If you can't adapt properly, you're going to be on the losing end basically 9 times out of 10. But yeah, we've seen excellent adaptations, and maybe that's, you know, Honor, they didn't show it last round, we'll say that much. You know, Honor didn't really adapt pretty well to that last round, but so far they have been adapting very well. They have played around their utility, and that has been the important X factor for them. Aggro simply can't get rid of it. They haven't been able to. They don't, you know, they don't have, first of all, they can't find it. They don't have like an IQ or a Thatcher or whatever. They don't have any of that. They're gonna have to do it on their own with bullets. So that's one thing, especially whenever you have an Echo drone. Echo's weak now. You know, Echo, he can't have his drones cloaked, but he's still an extremely influential Plantanile operator, and Surf has been playing it to a T. Aggro are going to start to work their way down Freezer stairs. They've obviously got a lot to contest against. They've got Freezer angles open up against them. They've got a player sitting inside a Whiskey. They've also, I think, rotated, I think that's Pox playing in, yeah, that is Pox. He's playing behind the VIP shield. ADS's and while my disc is going to get burnt. Pox knows he's going to lose his shield. Now it's just going to be down to him holding off with a gun. But so far, not a single frag has been found. There's 2 minutes gone by. Honor just need to wait, and Aggro, they need to start ramping it up.
Yeah, we're coming into the final minute. The only damage dealt is still Silent onto himself here with that Selma charge splash. Positioning himself around that VIP window, looking to try and get into Whiskey, but it's Wolfsies to find the opener onto Kicks, losing out on the Nomad. Playing upstairs on the deep roam here on Kafe, doing some big work. Asian going to trade out, find Pox. They find Aristotle, a double up there for him as he pushes into Whiskey. Doing some big work on the attack now. They might have found the entry that they needed to get themselves some significant rounds on the board. Eddie, now up on the second floor, could find himself in a bit of trouble. Wolfsy as well on the big flank here, looking to try and counteract this vertical pressure. Oh, he's spotted, he's seen. Shots going back and forth, but neither player does go down. This is time being wasted here. Silent on the plant. Wolfsy just swings the door, doesn't find it. Oreo finds one. Team kill onto Silent. Wolfsy goes down above, and all of a sudden, it's a 2 versus 2. One player upstairs, one player in proximity to the bomb. They might be able to clutch this one out. Asian outside looks to swing into the breach, but the bomb's not in a favorable position. If they can lock it down here, Asian's in trouble. Eddie has to drop the hatch. Surf finds both of them, and Honor will pick up their 3rd round.
I cannot believe that Eddie might have just lost the round to the fact that he got stuck on the hatch. That is the most disappointing thing I've ever seen in a game of Siege. But look at that. I mean, Aggro, I kind of panicked. Whenever I saw, there's a lot of things running through my mind. First of all, the fact that Wolfsies had Eddie occupied meant that not only was Oreo safe, but also the Echo of Surf was also very safe. They could deny the plant, they could free roam, because Eddie wasn't holding the vertical holes. He was being pressured by Wolfsies. So good, you got rid of your upstairs pressure. But then, you heard it in the distance. The Echo drone shot, and it got denied. No plant got denied. The Echo drone simply missed. The first shockwave missed, and he didn't go for a second because he thought he denied the plant. So he started to rotate up. That was really good of him to rotate away. You know, obviously, at that point, I would have thought that the Echo drone denied the plant, so I would have rotated too. But it didn't happen. The Echo drone simply didn't deny the plant. So Honor had to work against the clock. They had to just start pushing away. And the fact that 2 unfortunate circumstances happened, that being of Asian team killing his teammate, putting it at 2 versus 2, and basically trading out the kill that he got previously, and the fact that Oreo was able to get up the freezer hatch and in, and then start the defuse with the cover of Surf, not only quickly but effectively. Oh man, Honor just played that retake so well. They didn't panic whenever they missed the Echo shock. They didn't panic at all. They weren't scrambling to find answers. They knew what they were doing. They immediately got Oreo on the defuse, and they got Surf on the cover, and Surf was able to claim a double kill.
Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest. The hero of that round was Wolfseas. The amount of time that he wasted single-handedly upstairs. I think if Eddie had won that gunfight earlier, he would have been in a better position to contest the retake and support Asian. But the fact that Wolfsea played around the angle, wasted so much time upstairs, meant that he threw away an entire... You know, I mean, Sledge is a powerhouse of an operator in Rainbow Six Siege. The fact that he was drawn away for so long by this roaming Malusi is insane. So, I mean, everyone is playing their roles and they're playing them spectacularly here for Honor as we go to the second floor, round number 5. Last time we were here, it was, again, a pretty solid shutout in this vertical angle. And, well, look, I think this is just Honor. They've found their momentum. They found their stride, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see them look to carry on this momentum.
Definitely Honor are just looking so good. A swing by Oreo, however, not so good as Eddie claims that kill. Aggro have gotten themselves some very early control. It does seem like they're going to be going for a fireplace plant and a fireplace cover, and that's a beautiful way to start with 2 kills here. Silent takes down Surf for the second. That is so good. What a start here from Honor. Honestly, any utility that Honor currently have right now can't do much. The Echo drones can't do anything. There's only 1 minute left. If Aggro start to get their plant down right now, with only 2 minutes left, there's nothing that Pox can do. So this is a really good start. The fact that Oreo just swung wide, he got a little bit greedy. I'm not sure what happened to Surf. That's not a good start here at all for Honor. We were talking about how they have the momentum, but there goes Wolfseas as well. All of a sudden, Aggro just won this round off to kills, and it's just going to be flawless. Give him all of them. Eddie takes down a second, and Asian up the white flank. Aggro take round number 5. Well, Billy, have they found their stride?
I think that was a case of just overconfidence. I think there was no need for Oreo to swing in aggressively into mining. Like, there was no need for him to contest Eddie at all. So I think Honor... They might be getting ahead of themselves a little bit here. I think they need to... Yes, they were up 3-1, but there's at no point in a competitive game of Rainbow Six Siege should you be saying, oh, look, we'll just go for the swing. We'll go for the gunfights. Let's do it. Let's play it for a bit of fun. If you're taking the game seriously, you slow it down. You play your game. You don't let yourself get that ego going, because as soon as the ego starts rolling, that's when things start to come apart.
Ego is the enemy. But, yeah, Honor... They swung wide. You talking about the ego? It was pretty convincing. Like there was a pretty convincing case of that happening, that being the swing from Oreo. That's a really good example of getting an ego. And unfortunately, Honor, they were just on the wrong side of it. They didn't understand what, they were doing what they could to try and, get an early start. But the thing is, the way that Honor that have been playing, the early start usually comes to them. They don't have to go too aggressive and work for it.
Oh.
Well, that...
Like...
10 seconds to go.
He's 1 in 5. He was 1 in 4. You don't have to make it. You don't have to make it worse. Come on. What are you doing, Era? What are you doing?
I don't know what to make of it. I mean...
I'll drink to that.
It's not like... He hasn't been Pox. It's not like Pox hasn't been doing his job. Yes, he's 1 in 5, but his job is not to go for those gunfights. His job is to stay alive, use his utility throughout the round, and deny plants. That is his job. That is his job as Echo. He's been playing Maestro as well. His job is to be a disruptive influence in the round, and I could not. That. The only thing that I can imagine it was is potentially there was an illegal skin involved, but otherwise that is just we talked about, overconfidence coming into effect in that last round. I have to imagine that was a key reason as to why that round played out the way it did. They got overconfident, they let things slip, they over-aggressed, and I think we may be seeing a little bit of the fallout of that from this round.
Pox, world record pace for the fastest death in SCS, but, yep, unfortunately, not the start that everyone wants, and Aggro are obviously going to take advantage of this. Honor. We talk about how important positioning is for them. They're a very influential team whenever it comes to that. So the fact that they've lost a lot of ground in the prep phase isn't so good. Kix has the angle here on. Wow, he's just swinging into shop. Kix has no idea, but Asian gets away with the kill either way. I'm really surprised that Kix was just able to walk past the shop door nonchalantly, all while he was just getting peppered. But it doesn't matter. As Wolfseas goes down, even if he gets traded out, still 3 versus 4 due to unfortunate circumstances early on in the round. So Aggro, off to a pretty good start.
Look, Jazz, that nonchalance are kind of a big word. My head's spinning a bit after that. I'm a little
my bad.
confused as to where I am, but no. Big kill going back. They find Splash, so they are contesting still in this round. 3 versus 4. We've seen them come back from worse positions so far in this matchup. Round number 1 and 2, in fact, come to mind in those situations, but here we go. Surf with another Nitro. They have been landing so far here for Honor. The Nitro cell is coming in big. 3 versus 3, and his time is still there. Aggro could still bring this one back from the brink. They are looking for that verticality, looking for the angles that they can possibly contest. I don't know how this is going to end. If this is like so far, it's been a bit of a toss up, bit of some confusing stuff going on. I couldn't possibly anticipate how it's going to go when they switch over to the attack.
You have to wonder what Honor can really do, though. They have no utility left. The fact that they lost that Echo is a big piece of their plant denial. Not only their plant denial, but their delay game completely gone. There's only 23 seconds left, and if Pox was alive, this round would be completely different. Asian takes down his second. Surf is caught out here inside of mining, so there's only one person left inside of sight, and Kix is going to have double coverage, one from above and one from below. Arrow's going to have to challenge this, however. Moving his way into Cocktail, Asian will take down a third, but Arrow's left in a 1 versus 2. If there's anyone that can do it, it is Qualifier King Arrow. He's got one on side of, he's got one in Snow Balcony. He's also got one moving up red. Everyone's pushing against him right now, and Arrow, they're literally just rotating around him. He has no idea where they are, but Arrow, he's found Asian. They're both on very low HP, however. So if Asian challenges vertically, Arrow could still win this out. He's going to swing onto Kix. Doesn't know Kix is close right. Kix will give himself away, however, but it doesn't matter as Kix claims that kill. Aggro take round number 6. That team kill. We didn't think much of it. You know, it is the Echo, obviously. The Echo is so important. A very important operator. Always has been an extremely important operator. But the fact that Echo just got away, the fact that Echo died on a round that came down to only 20 seconds, oh, that's got to sting a lot. That's got to sting so much.
But look, there are 2 situations that I can conceive of as to why Pox died there. 1, it was an illegal skin. That was the call that was made. They took him out. 2, somehow Arrow colossally screwed up hunting a drone and killed his own teammate. So that is tilting. That is tilt factor to the extreme. So going into the second half, they, by all rights, this should have been a 4-2 split. This should have been a 4-2 split in favor of Honor. It's now 3-3. Aggro have brought it back off the back of, honestly, Asian is playing out of his mind. He's putting up some big frags for the Aggro team here. He should feel great about what's going on. But if you're Honor, you need to pull your head in. And that is a very, very Australian, New Zealand thing. Pull your damn head in. Get yourself back on, you get yourself back on your feet. Play your game. This is something that was yelled at me by every sports coach I had. Pull your head in. Go back to what was working for you. Don't get the ego, because that is definitely what it's feeling like a little bit here.
Yeah, Honor, they had such a good stride. They just had themselves going on. They were just pushing and pushing. I mean, everything looked good for them, right? Like they were just doing their thing, and then team kill happened, and then they lost around, and then everything just kind of fell apart. And Honor, they're not the team that you usually see to collapse like this. They're not a very easy team to collapse. They're a team that can get in their own heads, but whenever they don't, they just have their own stride. But this is a different story. Honor, they lost out their Echo very early on. That easily chalked the mental. We've seen how important Echo is to Honor in all strategies, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is they got egotistical on their swings. We talked about this. Oreo swinging with an SMG-11. He got an opening frag a while ago on smoke with a shotgun, and I think he thought that he could do that again. But man, can't be doing that. Honor, you're a very disciplined team. Don't break that just yet. But fortunately, hasn't happened yet. We're still 3-3. Obviously, Honor, they're going to have a lot to work on. We can kind of, even though, Aggro were the ones that were on the losing end, eventually they caught up. They're looking like they're in the advantage here, just in the driver's seat. Now they got defense.
Yeah, look, I mean, this has to be very reassuring if you're an Aggro fan. Obviously, they've been embroiled with a bit of, controversy over the last week. They've made some roster swaps. But, we've talked about tilt factor in this match alone. This last week is enough to tilt a team into disbanding because of what happened. And the fact that Aggro are coming in with a new player, playing this consistently solid level of Siege, that's a good indicator. Because if this is what they're bringing out after everything that's happened, the next few weeks, I would be surprised if they got knocked out of that first place position. The fact that they are now bringing it and giving the screws to Honor to the point where Honor themselves a little bit tilted, because you can see it with the way that they're approaching these rounds. They're over aggressing in situations where they really don't need to. The team kill that came in, it's just these little things that are chipping away. And we saw at the start of the map, Honor were playing their game, they were playing it consistently, and you could see Aggro were the ones forcing, and then these little mistakes started happening, and Honor just kept slipping up little things here and there, and then all of a sudden the momentum shifts back to even in the half. I honestly, I reckon Aggro are looking good to take this.
Not only, we talked about how Aggro are just going through a lot, they had to replace their secondary entry. Entries are arguably one of the hardest roles to play in this game. You have to be consistent for your team. The fact that Asian is currently, leading the helm with this, look at him, 10 kills on attack. The fact that he's leading the helm on this, obviously, having a secondary entry come in isn't easy on Splash, He's new. He's on a new team. He's on a new team with a different psychology than Team Mystic. So they're gonna have to work around that. So really impressive stuff from Asian. I would say he's the thing that's holding Aggro into this. Obviously, Eddie's also doing great on nades. I mean, you cannot understate how good he's doing on Sledge. But yeah, we'll have to see if Aggro can keep this going. We talked about how they have the momentum currently. Can they keep this momentum with them? We'll have to see as they move on to defense. Arguably, in the psychology of Siege, defense in general is, the easier side, if you will, because, you don't have to push into them, they have to push into you, sort of thing. But it's Kafe. Anything goes on Kafe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even necessarily, just the meta. It's just comfortability. You know your limitations as a defender. You cannot go outside the building, otherwise you're gonna have a real bad time. You have that extra prep time to set yourself up. So I think it's just you're comfortable on the defense. You've also got the clock that you can play around. That's what's working for them here. And the fact that they've brought it back to a 3-3, now going on to their defensive half on Kafe. Yes, it is a volatile map that can go either way, but I mean, just the things are lining up here for Aggro, and now they head onto their defense. They brought it back from a 3-1 deficit. I wouldn't be surprised if that... I mean, I talked about the momentum that you need to ride to carry on, build up those rounds. On it, they had the momentum, they got aggressive, they got cocky, they threw it away. I think Aggro, their head is much more on their shoulders in the situation. I think they're going to ride the wave and pick up a few more rounds here.
Yep. They also got quite an interesting strategy to work against here. They are going to be going for a piano push, but obviously it's quite difficult. You've got mirror windows working against you, so Honor are going to have to get rid of those. You have a deployable shield sitting inside of Pixel, but it seems like they're going to be getting rid of that first. Nade's going to come on out here on an already cleared shield, and we'll get rid of that. So, good start here. Honor taking care of the little things that they won't need to anymore. Pixel's going to become a lot less of an aggressive position, and now Honor can start to work their way up, but of course, still got that mirror window to work against. It's going to be really tough. We see Twitch being brought out a lot on the side, just in general in this meta, but hasn't been brought out recently. Oh, do they have that? Wait, that drone that was just on the defender downstairs, do they know that he's currently sitting under them? Asian is sitting right outside of Brown stairs, and I don't think they know. That's going to be interesting. That is a really interesting position for Aggro. I'm not sure how he's going to handle himself there. I think, he wants to swing on a new balk. I think there's a drone on him. Like, I definitely think there's a drone that sees him. Yeah, there's a drone that sees him.
Spotted it at the very least, so they know he's there. And Rainbow Six is a game about information and misinformation. The longer you can keep your enemies unaware of your positioning as a defender, the stronger your position is going to be throughout the remainder of the round. The more information you have as an attacker, the more you can do with it, the more you can look to execute onto the bomb site. And Asian is in a prime position here. He can keep this unknown factor of his positioning. He looks like he's grouped up here with Splash, going to be pushing up white, and they're going to try and group up and make something happen. I don't think they're going to anticipate a push from Pixel here. Honor could be their own worst enemies. Oreo at the moment going on for the plant. They're in a bit of trouble. There we go. Silent swings, finds it. The older 556 goes off again. He can't find a third, unfortunately, because Fox is there pressuring. Asian goes down. We're back in a 3 versus 3. They find kicks. They find Asian. All of a sudden, it's coming up here.
The Echo Drone's there!
No! It's been stopped. Aggro win it off the yokai.
Honor just got a taste of their own medicine, and they will lose out to an Echo Drone as well. That is absolutely stunning. How is... I love Echo, dude. Echo's so fun now. You don't have to look for him all the time. He's not cloaked in some random corner. You have to play with him, and you have to be careful. Beautiful stuff there from Splash. He's been pretty quiet so far, but he wins an entire round off the back of his Echo Drone, a round that he absolutely should not have won. That was all against him. Honor seemed like they had the back foot. They seemed like on the upper hand it was Aggro, but you had to pay attention. You had to look for that Echo drone, just watching it, just waiting. A round's never over until, Echo's gone. A round is never over before that. That is absolutely shocking.
I mean, and not only that, but Splash never gave away the game. Splash could have swung in. He could have gone for the aggressive gunfight. He didn't. He knew exactly what his job was. And that's exactly what Pox would have done if he had not died to his teammate earlier in the game. 100%. That I guarantee you that's how that round would have played out if he had stayed alive. A good Echo player does not take heads-up gunfights. That is never going to be their job. Because, one, the MP5, it's not the greatest of guns. It really isn't on the defense. But the amount of work you can do with a yokai drone that is not scanned out, not found whatsoever, it's going to be infinitely more influential than any gunfight you could possibly take.
Absolutely. The fact that you just being alive is so important is really, really funny. But yeah, they're going to be opting to bring the Echo, however, downstairs. That's where we saw Honor bring the most effectivity out of that one. But still, got a smoke. They've got a lot of drone denial. That kind of tells me they're going to be wanting to do something aggressively upstairs or just, in general, just deny drones. But anyway, Honor. Not the best of starts here. 3 rounds in a row here for Aggro. That is absolutely huge so far. The momentum's back in their favor.
Look, I mean, honestly, I'd be disappointed at this stage if Aggro lost this series just because of how well they're playing. Like, I mean, the song says it well enough. She works hard for the money, and that's exactly what Aggro are doing here. They are busting ass right now. And pardon the language. They are busting ass to work as hard as they possibly can to take the dub here and deny Honor, push them even further lower into Group B. And unfortunately, Asian droned out yet again, is spotted. Surf swings it and destroys him through the wall. The bullet holes. I mean, look, they're ambitious, and I see them fail more often than I see them succeed. And Surf is just on a hunt here, looking for whatever he can find, trying to delay, trying to stall, trying to break the stride that Aggro has now found. And this can either go one of two ways. One, we can see, they take it in stride. They say, look, we've made some mistakes. We're going to slow it down. We're going to play our game. Or we see them get mad and then make even more significant mistakes and throw the match away.
Getting droned out here as well. They've got a player sitting right outside. They know where Surf is, but shooting through the wall. Oh my gosh! Off the fadeaway from Splash. Surf will send a body down freezer. Good night. Cremate that one. That is crazy. The fact that Surf just got away with that. That is a C4 gone. And now 3 versus 5. Jeez, oh my. That was quite chilling from Honor. C4 ripped here from Eddie. That might be good if they have a camera on it, but no. It's going to detonate off of nothing. Honor they've gotten themselves such an important start off that kill of Surf.
Well, the round is not quite over just yet. They still have Eddie and Silent alive to possibly do some work here. Unfortunately, yeah, like you said, a lack of utility. Ooh. And there we go. Eddie finds Pox, takes out the... Oh, no, they're just looking for more. Silent's found another. Arrow, unfortunately for Aggro, has pushed into the bomb site and going for the swing. Eddie knows where he is, might be able to deal with it, but with 17 seconds left, Kicks teaming up. They might be able to find the denial. SMG11 is going to be enough. Eddie finds Arrow, swings in, finds another one. Eddie might be able to do it.
Give him
he
all.
has Aggro steal the round away and push themselves deeper into the win here. 5-3 in favor of Aggro on a massive effort from the Mozzie player.
You can't stop counting there. Aggro take round number 9. That's a 3-5 victory off a round that Honor looked like they had the advantage in. They got the Zofia in. They got the entry wiped down. They had everything going in their way. But Eddie is just Quicksilver. He just goes in. Time is stopped, and all of a sudden, he's just doing work. That is absolutely shocking from Eddie. He'll take 4 kills for his troubles. And even off the round that Honor just had so much start on, you have to wonder if that's going to play a momentum factor. Remember, Honor need 2 maps to win this entire thing. 2 whole maps. And right now, they aren't about to get even 1.
I say this rarely, but that was a round that Aggro had absolutely no right to win, but they did it anyway. Eddie just, I mean, you talk about going stratospheric. The guy is in orbit around Pluto. He just, I mean, if there is a time for a player to step up, it is around exactly like that. He takes it, puts it on his shoulders, a round that looked like they were going to lose, but they had that one advantage. Eddie is just a straight gunner, and you talked about it at the very start. This team of gunners who can step up in the moment when they need to, and Honor on the back foot, mentally a little bit shaken here is all it takes for Aggro to pick this up.
Aggro, I mean, they're just in the heads of Honor right now. Aggro just need to play their game. They don't need to change anything, just need to play Clinical Siege, and Honor will just be there ready for them. That is... wow. It is like shooting fish in a barrel currently for Honor, or for Aggro. Like, this is such a good game being played by them, and individualistic players coming out shortly. I mean, Eddie, your top player of Aggro, being challenged by Asian, currently on double digits. I mean, you cannot understate the work that both these players are putting in. There's a lot of gaps to fill. There's a lot of shoes to fill with Honor's or with Aggro's recent departure. But the fact that they're able to just take it against a Challenger League team and lead their group continuously, it's absolutely huge. If Honor at least don't take this to OT, map's over. Their chances of getting in to top, getting into first place are gone. They need to at least take this to OT or win it. Like that is huge.
I mean, it is a case of the bigger they are, the harder they fall in Honor. I mean, one of the bigger teams in this competition, and they are poised to fall and fall hard here. Aggro, 2 rounds away from closing it out, and they have done it so very well. It's not over yet. Honor could still bring it back, and they have shown signs of life here, but I'm severely impressed with what Aggro are bringing to the table, and Asian, going to be the first one tagged up, has fallen off a little bit here in the later stages of Kafe, but the rest of the team, I mean, you talk about the stepping up in the moment when you are needed most. That is exactly what's happening. Wolfsies pushes into backstock, takes some damage for his trouble, deals with the Malusi Banshee there, and looks to clear out the player behind the window, but Nitro from Asian. I said he'd fallen off a little bit, but he doesn't care. He's going to find the opener in round number 9, and that is the vertical pressure, a large chunk of it now gone.
Sledge, Wolfsies, nades. I mean, there's so many keywords that mean so much to Honor this entire round, and they've lost all of it. They don't have nades anymore. They can't pressure anyone. They might even go for a second here with Silent on Pulse. It's very rare that you can see any more, at least in this new, with Pulse being Pulse now, where you have to take time to switch off the cardiac sensor. It's very rare that Pulse actually gets a self C4 kill. It usually comes down to your teammates. If he's able to get this, there's so much that they could get rid of. This could be really shocking here for Silent. Oh, but there it goes.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate. But, I mean, look, even if Aggro still somehow lose this, the damage is done. They've proved that gods can bleed. Pox at the moment on the plant. Silent going for the damage, toe-to-toe with Surf, but it's Aristotle to pick up the kill onto Eddie. From above, Aero finds another, but Splash and Silent team up for 2. We're back at a 3 versus 2. Man count in favor of Aggro here. Aero is up on... Oreo, sorry, on new back. Aero goes down regardless. Asian from above. They could do it. Silent's on the defuse. Oreo not in position to contest this. Somehow, Aggro, again, another round that they should not have won, have pulled it out of the bag.
Honor just looks so lost. They have their strategies down usually, but right now, this is something completely different that we're seeing from them. This is really good stuff, not only from the side of Aggro, but wow, Honor, I mean, they're just shaking to their core. This is not the Honor that we needed to see. This is not the Honor that would take us to, that would take Asian and the team down. This is a completely different Aggro. Aggro are just a different beast right now. By the way, can we just remember, Aggro aren't even supposed to be here. They only qualified because a team left or disbanded. But they're here and they're making a statement in a group with Challenger League players and against a Challenger League team. What a statement to be made right now by Aggro. They're looking shocking right now. Like, this is how you start off a season. If Aggro take this map, Honor will not be able to get first place.
I mean, you talk about Aggro not meaning to be here. You said it yourself, they're not meant to be here. They have 100% proved in the first 2 and a bit weeks of gameplay, they deserve to be here. And they deserve to be top of the table because it's top tier Siege. And I mean, honestly, It's not the strongest, it's not the most perfect, cleanest siege that we've seen, but it's still good, it's still winning them rounds, and not only that, it's winning them rounds against the Challenger League team, which, I mean, if that is nothing else to read into, you look at the kills, the stats on the board. Asian, 12-0-5, Silent and Eddie just going absolutely massive in some of those key rounds, and you said it yourself, it feels like Honor are floundering. They don't know what to do, they don't know how to approach this. And you've got to wonder, going into map number 2, where Aggro have opted into the attack, that they have some game plan here, and that presents a scary proposition for Honor.
Got a really aggressive strategy being brought out here. Like usually, it's very typical. They're just opening up all the bars, but they do like everything to be open. Freezers open. They don't want any walls to exist. But yeah, Honor. They're attacking a site that doesn't change that much. It's very static whenever it comes to its playstyle. If anything, this should be the round that they can kind of get themselves back into it. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe Honor on the other side, they'll fluster. You know, this is a very aggressive strategy. Aggro are a very aggressive team. And we thought that that would work out for Honor really well in defense. But, you know, it was 3-3. It wasn't the best showing from them. Now, Honor haven't won a single round. Aggro 5 rounds in a row, and they're about to make it 6. Can they make it happen?
Well, we've already seen the damage that can be done when Splash is playing on this Echo, just single-handedly stealing the round away from Honor. He's back on it against Silent as well, back on the Maestro, who found those 2 phenomenal openers last time we were up here on the 3rd floor. So this is just, it's got to be terrifying. The mental game has to be cracking here for Honor. You've got to hope that there is some way to bounce back, if not here, at least into Oregon. But we head into the second half of the round here, Jazz, that you can feel the hesitation, that, you know, they're being, they're scared. That is the only way to describe it. Honor are playing scared, they're playing flustered. This is not how they anticipated today going.
Absolutely not, and they're going to need 3 more rounds to make anything sort of work. They've also got an Echo drone on ping, so that's a pretty good start from them, I guess. Anything is a good start here for Honor, honestly. But Aggro taking a little bit of damage is Arrow. Just got to be careful not to swing into this. They can't lose the body early on. This could be detrimental to them. Nades coming on through. They're going to get rid of the player sitting behind B2. And really good way of getting rid of that, by the way. Because now the rotate isn't safe anymore. So he's going to have to be really careful. He's either have to swing out aggressively or die.
With 40 seconds left, though, there's still 2 toxic canisters on the board. They are going to be able to lock down that cigar push, which means you either have to come via white or push in through Cigar Lounge itself. And there's just nothing safe. There's nothing guaranteed. They're locking it out even further. Even the new belt push could be the play here. You see Oreo desperately running towards White Stairs to try and get up to the bomb site. Wolfseas goes down. Pox can't go for the plant. He will find one on Silent, but Asian and Splash find 2, 3, 4 as Kicks is going down. It doesn't matter. Asian mops up Surf. Aggro take map 1, and not only that, they take it cleanly, 7-3.
That, he just kicked down the door. Aggro just kicked down the door and said, "We're here, mother effers." What a showing from Aggro. Absolutely stunning stuff. 10 rounds, 7-3. Honor. They have fallen from grace here. They cannot claim first place in the Group B from this entire game. It is impossible mathematically at this point in Aggro. What an important map for them. Aggro, such an aggressive playstyle. It's worked out so well for them. Honor, I mean, to see them fluster like that, 6 rounds in a row, that is shocking. That is simply shocking.
I mean, that's reminiscent of Wildcard last night in Apex South. They won the opening 2 and then lost 7 rounds back-to-back to get taken out. That, again, I will say it, Aggro had absolutely no right, with everything that's happened in the last week, with everything that happened in the start of this map, they had no right, on paper, to win the map the way they did, but I'm so glad they did. It was an absolutely stunning showing, the way they synergized, the way they played off of each other, and absolutely just punched through every single mistake that Honor made. That is top tier siege.
If you don't think that Aggro is here to play, that's the door. Get out. This is stunning. Aggro, They lost their most influential player, one of their most influential players, and they got better. How do you do that? This is shocking. Aggro are playing at their best. They have just been looking so strong. Nothing can take them down. Not even a player forcibly leaving the team. That never happens. That is that should not happen. Aggro should not be winning. The tide is working against them in every fashion, but they're doing it anyway. They're shutting everyone up. They're proving everyone wrong, and they're proving that we got CL teams in our group, but we're still better than them.
I mean, not only is it a win, it's a win in regulation time. So they get the full points. They get the full 3 for map number 1, which, I mean, is only going to propel them further in this stand. And I think off the back of that, they are now untouchable in first place for this week. So, I mean, look, even if they lose the next game, that's all right. But I don't think for a second we are going to see a weakened aggro team coming into Oregon. It's going to be the same thing. I would be excited to be in voice chat with them. I imagine they're popping off right now. They'll get themselves cooled down a little bit going into the second map. But I mean, just the plays we saw. Eddie's massive 4K, Splash just keeping cool, calm, and collected despite being the new face in the roster. And there you go. You look at the ratings. Kicks and Splash, unfortunately, sub 1, but it just feels like that's not at all an indication of how influential these two players were.
Absolutely. I mean, Asian absolutely popped off on attack. That was his half. And then Eddie kind of going through both, and then obviously the Echo. Oh my word, the Echo on Aggro. We talk about how Aggro is just, Echo in general is just a player that needs to stay alive, and that's how you win the round. Not only has Splash been able to stay alive, kind of having the survivability, but he also got a double kill on Heaven on the round, or he got a double kill. I think he might have downed the sledge, so he wasn't able to claim it, but we'll consider it a double kill. He got a double kill on the round off of a MP5 and then sniped somebody with a bearing 9. How often does that happen? That was absolutely shocking. And then the C4 signified the end of the map.
I mean, look, there were so many plays that are clippable, 100%. Like I imagine we're going to see something on some highlights compilation video later this week, but it was a symphony of Rainbow Six Siege. Everything just came together at the right time for aggro, and holy cow, did it look impressive. Just the way things came together. Silent holding his angle on that third floor. The first time we saw third floor bar come out for their defense. 2 big frags. And then Splash at the end of it, finding that denial with the Yoko drone. Eddie on the kitchen defense in a 4 versus 2 and just shuts them down almost single-handedly. I mean, he had help, but he was the one that found all the frags. Look, aggro, I mean, there's some teams in this competition, I'll be perfectly honest, that I don't really know. There are some new faces in this season that I'm not nearly as familiar with as some of the other casters. But holy cow, I'm a fan of Aggro right now. Their playstyle, the way they bring things together, I'm keen to see what they bring to Oregon.
We're going to be right back, however. Oregon's going to have to wait just a little bit. Aggro, they've been looking absolutely exciting here. Honor, they're on the back foot. Aggro, they've secured themselves at the first place spot. It doesn't matter anymore. Honor can do nothing about that, but can they further their lead? We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I did not just slam a can in my face to get momentum going. 2, Honor versus Aggro. This game has shocked a lot of people. 7-3 here in favor of Aggro. Maybe it hasn't shocked you. We've seen a lot of people in the chat just be like, nah, this is what I expected. I got this. I got this all in my head. I mean, Aggro not slowed down. Everything was working against them. They should not be in the lead right now. They've lost a teammate, but oh my gosh. They are. They are storming ahead. They are just, oh, they're looking so good. I'm Jasmine. This is Blue Panda.
Yeah, look, it's fuel to the fire. I think Aggro are just white hot right now. They're coming into map number 2. They're geared up. They're ready to go. Yes, Kafe was their pick, and I'm that could be an indicator that they're just an incredibly strong Kafe team, and the rest of the maps really aren't theirs. But from what we've seen from them already, look, this could be a scary prospect for the guys over on Honor. If they lose out on this map as well, it proves that it's not just a fluke. That in fact, you know, these guys on Aggro are a force to be reckoned with, and at no point should be considered out of it. I'm just so intrigued to see what happens. We haven't seen Oregon come out for the Aggro guys yet, so it's a bit of new territory. It's something that hasn't really been seen. It hasn't been seen from Honor in this season either, so we're going to some unknown territory. We're going to be jumping straight into it. Operator bans, again, key part of how these rounds will be played out. Jazz, the question is, are we going to see an echo ban?
Oh, well, that is an interesting prospect, actually. That is a really interesting prospect because, as much as Oregon is, you know, kind of dependent on operator bans, there aren't any standouts besides Mira, really. I mean, Echo has just been such a good operator. You'd be kind of foolish not to ban him, but it's also the question of who's going to ban it. Because if Aggro ban it, you know, they ban it. But what if, you know, Aggro don't ban it and Honor decide that we're on defense for 6 rounds, let's not ban it? Like, we'll have to see. This is going to be an interesting game. Of course, Aggro, they chose to attack. That's why a lot of you know, a lot of us are kind of confused because, you know, attacker side, not exactly. Oregon's not exactly attacker side, but we'll have to see. I'm definitely intrigued now that you bring it up.
I mean, it is one of the, I'd argue, more balanced maps, just because it has been in the comp pool and teams have just fiended it so much that you have an understanding of how to play Oregon. There might be minor changes that come in throughout strategies and maybe different roam positions, but on the whole, it is not like, you know, Oregon's just been introduced and no one is trying to figure it out, and it's just that defender-sided because that's the way the map's set up. This is a known quantity. Oregon should be well played and well thought out. And Valkyrie is going to be the final ban. Yokai drones going to be coming back in. Mira let through yet again. Malusi as well. There are a lot of scary prospects that have been let through in the defensive side of things that if Aggro can secure a 3-3 half again, that again, the concern level starts to rise. We could see Honor start to, you know, their armor start to fall away. And especially given that, I mean, Oregon, this bomb site in particular, basement, has been one of the weaker ones for a lot of teams. I mean, a lot of teams are finding far more success on dorms, even in kitchen meeting. Basement, it has been a little bit weaker of late, so I'm interested to see, you know, what Aggro do. Are we going to see this map start the same way as Kafe did, where, you know, Honor get themselves some rounds on the board early, and then things start to go wrong, and oh boy, okay, all right, okay, Aggro guys are just, they're lighting up the chat.
I was gonna say, you know, Honor, they're on defense. They've got quite the interesting side. Silent's playing for Cassie. It quite literally does not matter what happens for the next few rounds. Silent is playing for Cassie. Last time that Silent played for Cassie, Christopher Wings was on the receiving end of that, and he got 7-0'd. Like, if Silent plays for Cassie, it's reps. Synthetic, no. Synthetic, understand. This map is not going to be close at all. It's going to be 7-0 sweep here for Aggro, all because Silent is going to turn basically into Thanos. We're done.
Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest. You never let a girl come between you and the boys, so it could be that distraction factor that Honor needs to get themselves a map on the board. If Silent's mind is elsewhere, if he's not doing his job, which, I mean, he did his job in the first map. If he's distracted, if his mind is elsewhere for map number 2, they could find themselves on Struggle Street. Arrow at the moment is in the big tower. Oh, he's going to spot one on that T3 window. Pulls off for the moment, but it's Wolsey's to go down first. Splash finds it. Maybe it is the Cassie factor. maybe that is the lucky charm that Aggro need, but a good frag start things off. Aero finds one on the backside of it, will retreat down into the basement himself, just escaping splash by literally a hair. But 1 for 1, a mute for a Nomad. Both are pretty significant losses.
Yeah, Mute lost a C4 and Nomad. I would assume at least got like 1 air jab down, but we can't obviously know. So pretty even trade, I would say. C4 a little bit more important because Nomad obviously hasn't placed all of his utility. Oh, here's this like knifing thing. So apparently, if you lean a knife, you can peek around the corner, and I think only it's ridiculous.
Yeah, look, it's quick peeking at the moment is an interesting mechanic that I would have to say is a little unbalanced because there's no way you're seeing a special forces operative in real life just flailing around a corner with a knife trying to get that information because a rocket propelled grenade is going to be coming their way moments later. So look, realism out the door with that one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we saw that. Arrow's going to go for splash, but Asian claims his first kill of the game. 3 versus 3. Silence got himself inside of elbow as well, so the hard breach is still up and alive. That is what is so important. Your Habana and your Ace are still up and ready. You have to wonder if that's going to play a key factor. Pox, I think just in general, Honor are going to be playing back here. I'm not sure what Asian is looking for. He might be looking for a back flank. They've got Surf playing inside of Freezer, however. He can watch over lobby with the angle that he has, but Silence got himself into default. C4 is going to be ripped. Hasn't been shot. Can't shoot those yet, Silence, sorry. But Aggro, so far, pretty quiet for them. They've got a lot of utility that's going to work against them. 2 C4s, 2 gas grenades. First C4 going to be ripped off the Wamai, or off the Malusi Banshee, but it's not going to work out. Eddie now planting on the door with a very low HP. If anyone shoots him, that gas grenade is going to deal the damage needed. It's another trade, however, as Silent takes out Surf. Oreo and Pox versus Silent and Asian. They've got to either go for frags or go for the plant. They've still got a C4 up. Sorry, no, they actually don't have any utility here. So Aggro, they're just going to have to hold off for swings here. That's the only thing that can deny the plant right now. Silent can't win that, though. Oh, no, Silent. He does get distracted by Cassie. Asian swings wide. He'll take down 1. He knows that Oreo's around the corner. He's going to try and swing here, but Oreo takes him down instead. Honor take round number 1. Unfortunately, the coverage from Silent simply wasn't there. And that's going to be round for Honor.
Look, it was close. That's really the only way I can put it. It was close. Honor, they were forced to dig deep in that round, and they did pull it out in the end. They're going to win basement. They're going to head up to dorms, which is arguably a stronger site for the majority of teams. But the fact that it got that close, the fact that they couldn't keep control of Pillar for as long as they were, I mean, they almost conceded it immediately. The fact that there were a couple of mistakes that Aggro did make. Splash, there was no need for him to turn around and run towards T-stairs the way he did because he got the back of his head blown out and went down complete. Yes, they got the trade, but it shouldn't have happened that way anyway. But I mean, they did bring Honor to the brink there.
Yeah, it almost looked like they had it, but honestly, the fact that the utility was still there, jeez, that utility really won the round. The C4 damaged Eddie, and the smoke grenade finalized it. And unfortunately, a rare whiff from Silent also kind of helped out there. He wasn't able to give any coverage to Asian, and that could have sealed the fate of the entire round. Now, Asian almost had the clutch, but, can't really go off of if, buts, and ands. So, Honor. Beautiful start from them. A start that they absolutely needed after losing 6 rounds in a row last map. This is something that they absolutely need. So, actually, Mr. K. McClells, I think manager or owner of Honor or R6 or one or the other, I don't care really, to be honest. He does something with Aggro. Has confirmed that it was indeed a skin dispute. And Arrow just capped him. They're putting Pox down, man!
Look, unfortunate. Who's to say how that map would have ended if Pox hadn't been team killed? We're never going to know, unfortunately. But honestly, I just don't think that was enough. I don't think that one dead Echo was enough to turn the tide of what was a stunning showing from Aggro on the whole. They really stepped up when they needed to. They went above and beyond throughout the entirety of that map. So, yeah, I think I'd be hard-pressed to say, it was that one. If Pox had been alive, it would have been a totally different outcome. So, yeah, unfortunate, but we move on. We carry on with here with Oregon as they are upstairs in dorms. Wolfsey going on a deep roam with this Aruni, which some people will be surprised is in play. I'm not. I'm keen. I'm enthusiastic to see Aruni here. it's definitely made for some interesting strategies. And the fact that it's being paired with a Whammy and a Jaeger, my lord, the utility denial available.
Yeah, Wolfsies has got a very important operator, and he's got a very powerful DMR on top of that. The only DMR on defense, I believe. So, I mean, unless I'm
Well,
wrong.
it depends on how you
of
class the DMR. The ACS12, when used in the right hands,
Okay.
is basically what. Okay, Silent is going to find the first frag onto Surf. Unfortunate, which means those Whammy magnets, they're done. They're no more regenerating. He's going to have to utilize what he had on the board.
Yeah, that is going to be a huge frag. Still have nade denial with the Jaeger, just not the maximum. His honor. I think Wolfseas has given up this roam. He is just going to rotate down back downstairs. But honor, just waiting here as Aggro. They're starting to speed things up. Wolfseas does go down on the roam, and Asian goes down as well. However, that's going to be the first. Oh, come on! That's another kill going in the way for Aggro, and look at that. That's Case. Case is on the floor here for honor, and they're going to see them all rotate away. That's a huge, huge kill here onto Silent. Now all of a sudden, all those splashes inside of Attic, he can't do anything. He has to recover the diffuser. Pox takes down a second. Here it's a trade as Kix takes down another. Give him a third and make him a fourth. Pox is going absolutely insane, but he's the only man left as Eddie is in a 1 versus 1. He has a drone on him, and he knows where Pox is going to be. He has 40 seconds to figure this one out. He'll find him here inside of Master. The drone will spot him out, but Pox also knows he's going to have the time to reposition. Eddie is going to be the one that has to retrieve the diffuser. Pink's coming out here. They know exactly where Eddie is. He's going to swing wide. Pox, top armory. He knows that he's inside a closet. Swings wide here. Give him the ace! Pox is absolutely crazy. Honor win round number 2 off the back of him. What a beautiful clutch, and what a beautiful way to hold off that post plant. Intel all around as well, certainly helping him out.
I mean, the older 5.56 certainly does go off. It is, look, it's not my preferred weapon with the Maestro, but that's an entirely different story. The older 5.56 it's not a gun you want to take heads-up fights with, because overwhelming firepower does not even begin to describe that weapon on the defense. Look, Honor, I think they're coming onto their map. There was something said in the break. 100% there was something said in the break. I don't know what it was, but we are seeing them. They're coming back to basics. They're doing what they need to. They're playing their own game. Yes, they have been pushed to the brink 2 rounds in a row. It's come down to a 2v1 and a 1v1, and they have been able to take it away. But this is when we're not seeing those unnecessary, over-aggressive swings. We're not seeing those dumb plays which are costing them positioning and utility. So I think this is good. This is a good indication. And if Honor can, they just need to they need to ride things out. They need to keep calm, keep cool, and collected. And we could see them take this at a tie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just really good from them. And honestly, I'm hoping they go for a tie because that's my prediction. So, thinking of myself here for a sec. But yeah, Honor, I mean, they've been looking really good. That support play from Pox, I mean, man, oh man, the 81 goes burr. That is absolutely crazy from Honor. That is what they need, especially too. I mean, Honor, they've gotten themselves in a position where they're on the back foot. They lost 6 rounds in a row to Kafe. I mean, I know it was Kafe, but that's still absolutely shocking. A performance from Aggro that can't be understated. But that round there from Honor, you have to wonder if that's a turning point. You have to wonder if that's a flipping point for the momentum. That was such an important round. Such an important round there from Honor. But Kix has reconnected. I think he was... I'm going to assume he was switching skins or something. I don't know. You have to wonder if Asian jumping off the roof had anything to do with how that round went.
Look, it's not totally dissimilar to how map 1 went, unfortunately. So they are not just out of the woods yet. If we're going to go for the repeat of history, I think, yeah, Aggro pick up this round, and then, yeah. No, sorry. That's the wrong one. That's last night. That's last night, sorry. So, yeah, last map, 2 wins in favor of Honor. Then Aggro picked up their win. Honor got a 3rd, and then it was just 2 more rounds to Aggro. So momentum is looking eerily similar to the last map. It comes down to, just how well Honor can stay the course. They've got 2 rounds. Great. It's a great start. They're now heading to kitchen dining, which, get the alternative is kitchen meeting. Neither of them are particularly strong sites, but they're not glaringly weak either. There are strategies you can bring to the fold to make them work for you. Specifically, you go for that showers extension if you're going for kitchen dining. Kitchen meeting, you go for the attic, hold the verticality of it all. So there are options available. I think now, last map it was, what do Honor need to do to get themselves back into the map? Now the question becomes, What do Aggro need to do to get themselves an advantage and start to build momentum for themselves?
Right, and you know, we've seen Aggro time and time again be on the back foot and just shoot themselves back up, not only on this map but also others. So you can't count them out ever, even off of those 2 rounds here of Honor. They were looking dominant at the start. They always look at dominant at the start of the map, and then all of a sudden they crumble. We can't see that happening though. Honor, they absolutely need to keep themselves alive in this. They need to be able to just push away any sort of aggression here from Aggro. They need to be able to just hammer away at any sort of attack that Honor make. But I'm not sure why we're actually paused. I think
there was an audio bug. I know that was said in chat by Asian. Pick's set to leave and he's come back. Look, it's Rainbow Six Siege. It's you know, what, less than a week after the new patch. There's any number of things that could be going wrong right now. The fact that we have yet to have had a significant issue is phenomenal. And look, we'll save that for the second lot of broadcasters. That can be, you know, that can be Chief and McCready's issue. We're gonna just do our thing. Look, okay, so Jazz, we're coming into this. We've seen 2 rounds already, 2 close rounds. They were. You got to admit they were close rounds that Aggro could have taken. We're going now to, you know, the final, well, the final rotation of the 3 bomb sites that you traditionally go to. What do you reckon the halves can be? Are we going to see Honor just absolutely blow this out and take like at least a 4-2, or are we going to see Aggro bring it back to a 3-3? Do you reckon?
Well, that's interesting because like Kafe is one of those maps where all 3 of your bomb sites are pretty viable, and just comes down to whatever one you can like actually hold off the most. So for Honor, it was Kitchen. That was their best site, but upstairs was. I mean, it was all right. Their upstairs wasn't the best site, definitely. And then all of a sudden, you know, the reading was good. So that's Kafe. You know, 3 strong maps in one, or 3 strong bomb sites in one weak one. But Kitchen, on the other hand, any sort of dining hall site, any sort of kitchen site, there's 2 bad bomb sites and then there's 2 good ones. So if there's any round that Honor should be taking, or if there's any round that Aggro should be taking, it's this one. So a quick update. So we talked about how there's sound issues and all that. Well, another confirmation from the chief operating officer, whatever you are. I don't really care, to be honest. Mr. Kyle McClose, the GOAT. Pox is fighting his inner demons on the toilet right now, I think, and that is why he is not present.
Yeah, look, spicy food before game day is not a good idea.
Never the move.
Goes for casting as well. Spicy food, not the play. So
have you had experience with that?
I made the mistake. I bought some. It was like, you know, it's sriracha mayo. It was like, I asked the guy about it. He's like, yeah, no, it's not that hot. That was my first mistake when he said not that hot. And so I made myself burgers for dinner. I put it on. And within like 2 seconds, I was like, this was a gigantic mistake because I had a cast like an hour and a half later. I did it. It went off. I literally had like a 3-liter jug of water next to me through the entire broadcast. So as soon as the break hit, I was running to the bathroom because I needed to go real bad. But yeah, look, spicy food, not on game day. That's the rule from now on. Never a good idea. I know there are other casters who say, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But look, they're the ones that have to suffer, not me.
Yeah, that is the Kiwi way of doing things. It's basically weaker than Australia. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, this is
You guys know your beer is mixed with water, yeah?
Well,
because
I'm
like
17.
Americans can't handle it.
Man, beer? You know we can't handle beer? I actually don't like the taste of beer. I've had non-alcoholic beer before. Don't like it. I really don't.
Look, you think that's bad. So a big thing in ANZ, like all the casters, pro players, they're big on their KFC Zinger burgers. It's like the go-to thing.
Zinger burgers?
It's like a spicy chicken sandwich, basically. And
what?
So we have one player in the community who doesn't handle spice very well, to the point where he has been on record saying that even he finds Sprite too spicy.
What?
He decided to go and get himself a Zinger burger before scrims, and apparently did not make it to scrims.
That's what happens in the ANZ scene, I see.
Australian. He was Australian. I'll say that. He was Australian.
He was Australian?
Not a New Zealander. No.
No
Actually, no.
way.
Damn it. He is a New Zealander.
I did. I get to bully Blue Panda because he's on the other side of the world and he can't do anything about it.
Jazz, I do have to say, there's some interesting parallels in this matchup. So you got one Challenger League team and one not Challenger League team. And you've got one Challenger League caster and one not Challenger League caster.
Man! don't need this. I don't need this. I get it, man. You're excellent, but I don't need this. It's all pain.
Look, if you're gonna swing, make sure I go down and I stay down, because I'm gonna come back fighting.
Kiwi moment. I hate Kiwis. No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
We're back in the game. The issues have been resolved. Pox has obviously dealt with his inner demons, and I mean, I hope he had some wet wipes on hand, I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's a dining hold. They've gone for the shower extension, but you can already see the progression that Aggro are making. Like, they're doing good work. The first minute in, they're already inside. They're already taking control of small tower. Arrow's going to find the kill on the kicks regardless on the backside. I believe that was over by main lobby. Yeah, C's armory stairs. But I wonder... No, it was a run out from main lobby. Okay, the shower window. This is just coordination for Honor. They're playing their game yet again. Asian spots out the yokai, shoots it, and Pox is just doing work despite moments ago being very much indisposed.
he is on record as saying that his body was quivering and that it was liquid. So, Pox, glad to see you in action, soldier. But 2 men down here for Aggro and Honor are now just pushing them away. Surface is on low HP, so is Asian. This push, I mean, on a site like this, you absolutely need man count. Like, this is such an important thing. Whenever you try and get yourself into shower, you could lose a lot of lives. A swing here from Surf. He'll take down 1, but Eddie will trade him out instead. 4 versus 2. Shower control is gifted to Honor, but to Aggro, but at what cost? Everyone from Honor is going to be able to rotate down, and with Echo Drones up and with 4 players alive, it could be huge. Eddie takes down 1. Surprising that he got away with that, but a double kill for Arrow. And Diffuser is dropped. Silence now going to have to recover this. Arrow's holding case, and a swing wide will do the trick. A 3rd kill here for Arrow and Honor. We'll take round number 3. 3 rounds in a row from them. This is what we like to see from them, but obviously last time around we saw a 3-0 scoreline. Well, the worst happened to them. We'll have to see if they can keep this going, though.
That was interesting. I think Surf got downed, quote unquote, by the X-Kairos and then finished off by the Type 89. I've never seen anyone take that significant a damage from the X-Kairos before, but look, hey, it was a good round for Honor. They held their angles. They played the game the way they did in the first 2 rounds of Kafe, so it looks like they are returning back to form. 3-0, so the flawless rotation of bomb sites. They're going to be heading back down to the basement, which, again, it was not easy win for them. I mean, basement and dorms, it wasn't the strongest of wins, but I mean, it was still a win nonetheless. So hopefully we see some minor changes, and it looks like we already are getting that. We are going to see them come back into this round and extend this lead, hopefully.
Yeah. Honor, one thing about them that we've been seeing is resiliency. They're able to fight back, even against their inner demons on the toilet, but either way, Chad is blown up at the thought that Pox is on the toilet. They're just like, they're supporting him. Well, he didn't do anything that round, but the rest of his team did. Anyway,
like, yeah, you could support him. I just wouldn't hold his hand. That's all.
Yeah, maybe not. So, Honor, they've been, last time around, whenever we saw them win this round, it came down to their C4 utility. Their utility usage was great because their positions weren't really being aggressed on. Nobody was pushing in Freezer in the side of Aggro. Nobody was pushing main lobby. No one was pushing bunker. It was just it was a straight tower take, and that kept not only Oreo safe, but also the C4s alive. That is a big thing. Having that utility just up constantly without a single threat nearby that is able to challenge these C4s. The only thing you can really do is shoot them out of the air with that push that was being brought by Aggro. It was flawed, to be honest with you. It was a flawed push because they just weren't able to aggress. Arrow trying to swing wide. We've seen this position before. We've seen the same thing happen from Honor. They got aggressive on their swings, looking for an opening frag, and they lost. So Arrow's going to make sure that doesn't happen again. He'll rotate back down tower stairs. Asian will chase after him, but he'll realize that he is long gone. No free frag for either team so far.
I mean, look, Aero realized the situation he's in. I know there are a number of players that fill the similar role that Aero does that would have hung around, tried to look for that frag, but he said, look, I'm being droned out, I'm being pressured heavily. He got one drone, then backed off. He's been spotted now again as he goes to the rear grass. Asian might be able to find something, but no, again, he's pushing the envelope, but not far enough that it will result in him dying. They understand that last time they were in this position, they got overconfident, they got cocky, and they threw things away. I think, yeah, they have acknowledged that was a large portion of why they lost out in map number 1, and they're not going to look to make it happen again.
Aggro looking like they're just going to try and get as much work that they can here. Is this going to be a full E-box drop? Oh, I sure hope not, because I don't know if that's what Aggro needs, but Agent's going to swing. Aristotle, though, the man, the myth, the qual legend, finds that frag. Silent will trade him out. That's Surf going down. C4 lost on the side of Honor. They've been so influential throughout this entire round, but they're gone now. Arrow's going to get spotted out here, playing inside a pillar. He's got full HP, and he's going to be swinging E-box. Aggro trying to get themselves inside a bunker, but so far it hasn't worked out. Arrow's playing a really aggressive position, and he's being extremely dynamic with it as well. He's challenging new angles every single time. Aggro can never catch a break. Here's a drop from Aggro. Eddie will get himself into pillar, but there's still so much control being held by Honor. Even though Aggro are inside, they have to get rid of so much utility. That's going to be a Goyo shield cleared out. That's going to force Pox, who's stuck inside a freezer, now back. But 45 seconds left. Aggro in the exact same position that they were last time, but it's going to be their advantage. Silent will take down Pox for a double kill. 35 seconds left, and the aggression is really starting to ramp up here. Swing here from Arrow. He retakes Freezer, but at what cost? He's got a very important position to play, but with very low HP. Yet to wonder if he can do it to the effect that he wants to. Gas grenade getting prepared. Eddie going for the plan. He's in a position where he can rotate out very quickly, and he'll do just that. That's only the second gas grenade, however. There's still one more remaining. Arrow or Oreo can be really influential here. Kicks trying to take bunker with all he can, but Wolfsey's holding him up. Eddie's going for a very aggressive plant, and it's being covered effectively here. It's going to be a trade, a C4, and it's back and forth. Silent takes out a third, but Diffuser's down. Silent has to recover it, and he'll stick it down, but Wolfsey's has it. Oh my word, Honor somehow had denied the plant. They pulled out a miracle. This hold with the player sitting inside of Elbow has gone the way of Honor. It's 4-0. The pattern that we saw last map has already been blown out. It is gone.
I mean, I talked about in map number 1, there were rounds that Aggro had absolutely no right to win. That was a round that Honor had no right to win. They lost a lot of control. Aggro were winning their gunfights. It just came down to that utility game, which has been so on point here in map number 2. The nitro cells connecting, toxic canisters being kept in the back pocket until the most dire moments for the attacking team. And the positioning as well on top of that. This is what we should have seen from Honor in map number 1. This is the game that they should have been playing. And it's a little concerning that this is how they work well. Or this is how they work on Oregon, which is their map pick. But on an opponent's map pick, they look like a completely different team. So, I mean, they're a Challenge League team. You would hope there's some more consistency on the whole. Hopefully, it's just a case of, it was just that one map. It's not going to happen again. We are going to see Honor with their return to form.
See if they can get it going here. I mean, this has just been such an influential game from them. This is one of the sites, however, that was only won by a full ace here by Pox. You have to remember that. If anything, this is the one map. This is the one site that Aggro should win. We thought that it would be the kitchen site. We saw that, it's a weak site usually, but Aggro just didn't know how to push it by the looks of it. Honor now going upstairs again. Last time we saw this, it was only a clutch from Pox. That's the only thing that won them this round. Can they let this momentum go in their way? Can they finally claim a round that is oh so important for them? Honor, they're up 4-0. Nothing is currently challenging them at the moment. So, let's see if they can ride this momentum. Let's see if Honor can take this. Because last time around, we saw this, the faded round 3, where Honor I guess it was round 4. The faded round 4, where Honor lost their 3-0 lead. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening at the moment, as Asian goes down first here to the swinging of Arrow. He's been such an aggressive player here for Honor. A little bit of a shakeup in terms of the strategy, but it's worked out so far.
The unfortunate thing, though, is just it doesn't really matter if Aggro drop this, because they're still going to be top of the table. That is true. I mean, even if they do lose this, even if it is a 7-0, they have that consolation of the fact that they took the one map that really, really counted, which was map number 1, secured themselves that top place position, at least for this week. Obviously, there's still more weeks to play, so they're not. It's not a guaranteed this is them in first place for the rest of the season. But unfortunate flash. That splash is going to eat the majority of that from Eddie. But again, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. They've gotten control of Attic in the first half of the round, which is not something that you see teams achieve or overly often. they can now drone out, they can get themselves into go. This is a bomb site that plays very, very similar to CCTV. You need to go for a multi-pronged assault. You can't be all running into the same direction because you're just going to get absolutely juiced and ripped down, especially when there's that older 5.56 on the board. So you need to either come from Attic and Master, Attic and Trophy, double window and Trophy. You need to be coming at from 2 different angles, otherwise you are going to find yourself back against the wall in a lot of trouble.
Aggro. They're going to have to go up against an Honor that has been looking really aggressive for this map here. Arrow has been such a key player in this. He's just been running out, going everywhere, peeking everything that he can. Just, it's been working. Aggro have not been able to punish this. Silent. He's going to look for a swing here onto White. I'm not sure if he realizes that he's going to take damage. Yep, he will clear out the Aruni in the distance. Shield is still up on the side of Honor. That is huge. You can see Surf is just going to be able to play behind this. And Aggro, they're just not able to find any opening picks, even with a player sitting inside a drop. Splash will take down Arrow, however. The first kill going in their way. There's a player pushing bottom White, however, prone on the floor. I believe that is Wolfseas, but he figures it out! Splash takes down a second. Wolfseas goes down. Silence in for the plant, but he's got pressure coming not only from the White Stairs, also here's Surf. He might die to his own gas here, but Silent goes down. Oreo's down as well. It's a 2 versus 2 as Pox takes down Kicks. It's all down to Splash and Eddie. They need to get the diffuser and start the plant. Eddie goes down to Pox. It's only Splash on White. He's the last player remaining. Give it another one to Pox. Not a 5K, but a 3K. Honor take round number 5. Pox has just been so good on this upstairs site, and that hasn't changed yet. It's going to be 5-0 for them.
I mean, look, this is Pox's house, 100%. The man has consistently been able to lock down this bomb site, playing the Maestro 5-0 currently. They're even looking good for the 6-0 half as we head back to kitchen dining, which, honestly, in the first rotation of bomb sites was their most convincing round. They took it very, very handily. They just absolutely dismantled the attack despite the early positioning that was conceded. And look, I think this might be a case of Aggro have done their dash. They've got their one round win that secures them top place at least for this week. So I don't think they're going to be too cut up about losing it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. They're still leading. And I don't think I can do anything about it. So it's a change of pace here. Aggro, I don't think have a lot. It's been either a while since they've lost a map, or they've never lost a map. I can't remember which one. Take a look here real quick.
Well, Aggro hasn't lost this season. I don't believe.
That is insane. So they've.
Yeah, no, they haven't lost the season on a
not a single map. Not a single map. You're kidding, man. That is insane. They have not lost a single map. They've only been
taken to overtime once, which was
it was Neo, right?
Yeah,
or synthetic.
It was Neo
synthetic.
Synthetic. Sorry, yeah, that was right. They then absolutely ruffle stomped them in the next one. So, I mean, look, I even if they do get 7-0'd here by Honor, I don't think this is any indication of what they're capable of. I think they're just, I think they've realized that this is not their map. They're just going to play it out and be happy with the fact that they won Kafe the way they did.
Absolutely. That was stunning what they did on Kafe, and it's enough to lead them in. Obviously, it's not going to be the 6-0 that they hoped for, or at least by the looks of it in this current pattern, but it's still them being 3 points up, and I think it would be 3 points ahead as well. Still 3 points ahead. So, yeah, that is stunning enough for Aggro to just kind of lay back and not care too much about this match or this map as much as they should. But Honor, on the other hand, wow. We're seeing a completely different side from them. Let's see if they can continue.
I mean, it could be a simpler case of, you know, they came in, underestimated their opponents a little bit and paid the price for it because, I mean, this Tier 3 team versus a Challenge League team, 9 times out of 10, you'd say, yeah, the Challenge League team takes it hands down. But those key, you know, their mindset is enough for you to just become unhinged in the matchup and cost you quite dearly in these rounds, and that's exactly what's happened. I mean, I guarantee you, Honor came into this thinking that probably wasn't that much of an issue. They probably had this one in hand, and all of a sudden, you know, Aggro starts biting back and starts picking up the rounds, and the momentum's there, and they take the entire map, and that's all they really needed to do. So I think Honor, this is them playing their game. They're probably more than a little upset, angry at the way the first map went, and they're out to prove that, you know, it was just a one-time thing, that they are a team that should be reckoned with and deserve to be in Challenger League. because not only is it a loss in the standings, it's a bit of a blow to the onus that is Honor Esports.
Right, they are the Challenger League team, like you talked about. And it kind of comes down to, dare I say it, it comes down to Honor. You're a Challenger League team. You don't want to be losing to a T3 team. But regardless, Aggro, they haven't been playing like a T3 team recently up until now. Honor have definitely been stunning so far. Asian looking for an opening frag, but it's going to be a trade nonetheless here as Kix takes him down. Splash takes down Pox inside of the site, but he's not safe just yet. Eddie takes down Surf, and this is a round here for Aggro if they can keep this momentum going. Plant's going to go down here for Silent. 30 seconds left. There is 2 gas grenades left, but Wolfseas is being challenged, and he's completely blind as well. Double kill here for Aggro, or sorry, for Eddie.
Oh, no.
Plant is going to be denied, however, by Oreo. Does he have enough time to deny 2 more plants? So you have to wonder. Oreo's going to swing onto the Hibana as Eddie takes his 3rd. They find the Echo and manage to steal this round away. Round number 6 goes in the way of Aggro.
Well, look, hey, it's not an absolute trouncing. It's not going to be a 7-0 defeat. They get 1 round on the board. Look, I think if there was a comeback mounted here by Aggro now on the defense, that would be one of the greatest storylines of Season 5 of SCS. And I would imagine they've probably picked up a number of fans throughout map number 1, and if they can bring it back in map number 2, that would go a long way to build their standing in the competitive environment. I've got to wonder, what are they going to bring to the table? Splash goes for the 6-pick onto the Aruni. Silent back on the Maestro. Asian on the Jaeger. Asian has been a little bit stifled, it's felt, on this map. Specifically, he's been the opening gunfight. He's been the opening death the last 3 rounds in a row. So you've got to hope coming into this, now on the defense, they have a little bit more security, because we've seen just what they're capable of when it comes to defensive sides.
5-1 is not to be understated, but with no Maverick, it can be quite challenging here for Honor. But they've still got basically like 4 rounds to complete, to make up any mistakes that they have. So, to say the least, they've got a lot of time to work with here in Honor. Gonna be bringing the we talked about this pregame, I think. We talked about how Iana is basically, she's been buffed in different places. I personally on cast want to talk about the utility part that you didn't.
Bloody 17-year-olds.
That was you. You brought it up. You were the one who brought it up.
I alluded to it. You outright said it. Look. Hey.
Okay, man.
No, but she really is this very well-rounded force. Similar to Zero at the moment. It is just incredibly well-rounded. Zero specifically has information utility, has hard breach, has the soft breach or utility destruction in the form of the Gon 6. Ayana fills a very, very similar role. Almost like a pseudo Zofia at the moment with what she offers. Almost you could compare to a pseudo Ashe, honestly. 2 frag grenades plus the Gon 6. So basically the same as the 3 breaching rounds in terms of destroying utility. Maybe not the vertical control, but on top of that has the ARX, also has the G36, and there we go. Asian, unfortunately, the victim. 4 rounds in a row. Surf finds it up. And, well, just being called out.
That is cool. But yeah, another thing about Iana is that she can also burn Arunis, and Arunis obviously, she's not, a powerful operator that needs to be banned yet outright, but she definitely can be really effective, and that's what we're seeing here being brought by Honor. You can throw the hologram into Aruni Gate and it'll shut it down. You also have intel, you have nades, you have the Gon 6, you have a good weapon. But Oreo is gonna have to make that go into effect here, as Splash is gonna kill onto Oreo and is rotated away. Wolfseas, he'll be on the chase, but Splash is already long gone. He's pressuring a completely different side. But Surf, a 2nd kill for him. He'll take Splash down off the refrag. Not so immediate. You lose a Hibana. Extremely powerful, but you still have the option of the Selmas on Pox. So, you haven't lost the round outright just yet, but they're definitely going to have to push against the tide, considering the utility that they have.
Yeah, look, Splash is definitely having a better showing here in map number 2 than he did in map number 1, but unfortunately, going down means that this hold is going to be that much harder for the remainder of the Aggro roster. Gemini Replicator will be going in, will spot out the bomb and provide that information. Ox looking at bit of a mistake, a misplay there on the Saria Gate. destroys 2 of the Selmas rather than just the one he anticipated. They've gotten control of Jenny, though, so they can start to move in and pressure onto the bottom site. It's a 3 versus 4, so not entirely impossible for them to bring it back. And look at that. E-Box wasn't open. They can't get in that way. He's going to have to rotate around, which is it's just precious seconds that are wasted here. Toxic canisters going out. There's one more left here for kicks. They could find themselves in a world of trouble. Nitro Cell puts Surf down, which means Aero has to decide whether or not Pox goes down as well as Wolfsees. All of a sudden, it's looking bleak. Toxic canister goes out. Surf tanks it. He's going to look for the kill. Can he find it? 2 seconds left. No. Eddie gets it. Eddie gets the other one. Aggro get themselves a second round on the board. And this is Aggro time. They pick themselves up a defensive win.
C4 heard around the world. That is absolutely shocking from them. And Aggro swinging wide here. Eddie claiming that double kill, and Honor are now on the back pedal here. Aggro, what a run from them. I mean, the flank coming out from Splash, even though it was killed off, that was a lot of time. And then a tragedy as Pox, he burned one of his Selmas, but didn't wait, and then he burned another on accident against the Rooney Gate, and that was 2 ace charges gone, and the single wall wasn't opened. It changes a lot. It really does. That single wall being reinforced, that's a huge coverage angle. That C4 might not have gone through if they opened up the single wall and then cleared the shield. Truly. Like, that is shocking. The butterfly effect happening right in front of our eyes, but we can't blame it all on that. Aggro definitely had a lot of positioning advantage. They had a player sitting still inside of elbow. They had, I believe it was Silent, just holding firm inside of freezer. So really, no matter what Honor did, they didn't have that control. They didn't have that important crossfire on the freezer door and also on the player sitting inside of elbow, who could either make a flank or hold the cross with that player sitting inside of freezer. Like, that cannot be understated. But Honor, they still got 3 rounds left. They've got 2 rounds in order to win the entire thing and 3 rounds to make mistakes. Aggro, they're going to try and swing this back in their favor. They've got 3 rounds to make it happen, though.
I mean, just the play coming out. Eddie consistently stepping up round after round, putting in the massive efforts. It's stunning. It's the only way to describe it. The fact that the man has consistently put out these very, very highlight plays without... It's not like he's going for the clip plays either. He's just playing his game for the team. And they are just... It's like picture-perfect moments. And big props to our observer who's catching all of this as well. Makes it so much easier for us to do our job. Asian at the moment, he's been a little bit quieter so far in the second map. He's sitting 2-2 and 7, so has struggled to find those frags. Luckily, Splash has been the one to step up and fill that void. I mean, I talked about, look, they've done their dash. They won map number 1. They're probably not as fussed about, losing out here in map number 2. I don't think that's the case. I just think their defense is that much stronger than their attack, and we could see them quite easily even things up here.
Yeah, I mean, we can't understate what we've seen. Billy Aggro, they've done some astonishing things. They can get a 6-0 off of a 5-1 comeback and get 6 points. Holy blue hell! That would be such an amazing story. That would basically solidify Aggro into the playoffs at that point. But we're not done just yet. Honor still heavily in the lead. We can't talk about theoreticals just yet. Honor, they don't have the momentum in their favor anymore, though. Aggro, off of that round, they're looking a lot better. But we'll have to see if that changes. Gonna look like it's gonna be a standard attic push. They've got the Selmas put down onto those walls. Sorry, actually, they're using Oreo over there. I think Pox is working his way over on the master side of things. Yes, he has. So he's gotten part of the wall open. Not enough to vault through, though. We'll have to see if that comes back to bite Honor later. But with a minute left, Honor are going to start to make some progress.
Well, they get themselves into trophy. Surf, with a minute to play, is going to start to open up those avenues. If they can get in through trophy, maybe provide some opening in through walk-in as well. Aero walks in, finds a kill onto Splash, finds a kill onto Age, and doubles up there on the Ash. 10 frags and will enable that wall to be opened up even further. This is the start they're looking for, but it's not that round secured in the bag just yet. They're looking for more. They're looking for those advantages they can find to secure the win, but we've seen them come back from worse, Jazz. And with Eddie on the board, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. 5 versus 3, and they've got the 81 alive. They've got C4s. They've got gas grenades. Anything can happen. Here's a swing from Silent. He takes down Wolfsies. First frag going in the way of Honor. He's going to try and look for 2. They line up for him, but no. Pox is going to be able to get away, or sorry, Surf is going to get away with an influential kill. Aggro makes it 3, and Surf makes it match point. What a kill from him. Double kill for Surf. Honor take round number 8. Shocking stuff from them. That was much better. That was much better. That's exactly what we needed from Honor. They needed that round more than anything else. They've got the crosses, even though they kind of had that back foot where the master wall wasn't fully open. They worked with it. They worked themselves inside of the site. They made it work. They got their crosses in, and most importantly, they got their refrags. That entire time, it was either advantage for Honor or it was a refrag. That was really shocking. Yeah, Asian, you really should have. You really should have taken us to shot. You didn't listen. And guess what? You're paying for it.
Boy, is he what? Man, the guy is down atrocious right now. He's struggling. He really is. He's not able to find the frags. Luckily, though, I think, Splash has stepped up here in map number 2, which is exactly what you want to see. He wasn't as active in Kafe. Now he's coming to Oregon. He's really starting to thrive. Unfortunately, they are still down a pretty significant way, but the fact that he can come back in a map at a significant deficit and perform the way he is got to be a good indication for the guys on Aggro that this was the right pickup. They can look to keep him on and start to, steadily improve the team as a whole, because I mean, this is never going to be peak Aggro 100%. You got a new player in the last week. You got to take time. You got to gel. You got to feel the trust, the comfortability of a new teammate. So, I mean, honestly, this is a great indication, but it only gets better from here.
Yeah, they've been looking really good. Aggro, I mean, even though this is Honor's game so far, Aggro, they had quite a stunning showing, and they got the map that they needed. That is what is so important. They got a map before this, so they can feel free to lose this as much as they want. This game has no value to them except for maybe extra points, because right now, no matter what happens to Honor, Aggro will still be in the lead. And that is so good. To lead a Challenger League group, that is so good. But Honor, they're playing for the win. They're playing for the extra 3 points. They definitely need it. They need anything they can get. So to see them also coming out here with a steady performance, really good stuff. But can't say anything just yet. This game isn't over until it's over. If there's any team that can come back, it's Aggro. But we'll have to see if that does come to fruition. Honor just biding their time. Looks like it is going to be a white push. I think they want to. Yeah, I think they want to get themselves a big window and white push going. Not a single player is sitting over
on the right
Silent, side of the map.
What are you doing? He's aggressing the double window. Oh my lord, Pox almost.
I think we both would have lost it. I think we both would have lost it if Pox went down. That would have been shocking.
Yeah, look, there are gunfights that you should not be taking in Rainbow Six Siege, specifically, like, if you're running, like, a holo into a 2 point, so, like, against a 2.5 times, like, that is just not a gunfight you should be taking. And the fact that not only did Silent take it, he came out better off is just insane. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I think it literally just is because he's a 3 armor. Like, that's not a gunfight you should be taking. Oh, no. They don't have a Nomad. This could be, if there's no drone on Asian, or if there's no one that spots him out early on this flank. Oh, there is. Or he's going to drone him. That's so huge. Asian is now not going to be able to get away with a late game play. But Splash is in Z. Splash is Z. He'll take down 1. Diffuser's drop, but it's an immediate trade here for Honor. We talk about their trades. And we thought that, this would be a flank completely shut down. No, it's a trade. So, Asian, he's still got himself on the prowl. Surf takes down kicks. The aggressive plays right now for Honor are simply working out. And Aggro, they're swinging right into the attacking side without even any control being taken besides the control they have now. Wolfie's off big window, takes down Silent as well. Catches him out on a mistake. Aggro just losing out to their own personal mistakes right now. Honor, they're just pushing against the tide. Asian, he'll retake up the stairs here of Armory, but it's a double kill for Arrow. And he takes down 2, however! It's Surf and Wolves, he's going down! A 1 versus 1 now ensues. Arrow, he's lost the advantage he once had, but a swing from him! Qualifier Arrow might have been there, but this is game day Arrow. And it's starting to become even scarier. Honor take map number 2. It's a tie. A 7-2 dominating victory for them.
Absolutely good stuff from Honor. Nice try from Aggro.
I mean, 7-2, it was 7-3 in map number 1, so it wasn't that far off. It was almost a perfect trade of rounds on the whole. But honestly, yeah, Honor, it's good to see they went down in map number 1. There were some obvious signs of tilt coming into it. They brought it back in map number 2. They kept themselves calm. They kept themselves on top of the ball, and they won it out 7-2. Great showing from them. It looked a bit iffy coming into the second half, but again, they just reset. They went back to doing things their own way. They won it out. They won their gunfights. Unfortunately, Asian didn't quite show up here on Oregon. I think he could have definitely pumped up the round score for Aggro a little bit if he was a little bit more on top of things. But, I mean, it is what it is. It is a tie. Aggro will still keep themselves top of the table in Group B for the moment. And Honor, they basically secure themselves second place in Group B.
Yeah, they broke the tie that they once had with PDHM.
They don't. PDHM, yeah, if PDHM win their matchups this week, they could upset that. But, I mean, hey, second, third, it's close enough.
Yeah, so PDHM need a 2-0 in order to overtake Honor, but currently Honor are in second place. And, I mean, Aggro, what else is there to say, Billy? They're just going. They're racing for first place. There's nothing that can stop them right now. So I do want to look at when PDHM's next match is. I'm not very.
One would imagine it's probably coming soon.
I don't know how to read, so it doesn't. That definitely doesn't help.
Look, it's there's only so much you can take away from it. So yeah, a 1-1 split. PDHM, their next match is March 26th. I think. Well, March 26th for me. I think it's March 25th for you guys. And that's going to be against Synthetic, who, again, they have been a little bit up in the air. Not the most secure team on the whole. So there is a chance that, that it could be taken away from them. But, I mean, look, if there's anything to take away from today, Aggro are a real threat that need to be taken seriously because I think, yeah, Honor made the mistake of coming into it a little under-prepped and it cost them.
Yeah, the Xbox switchovers are looking great. I mean, even after what happened, this is really good from Aggro. I mean, look, I know. You're reading the bottom and you're like, what? Jazz, you really don't know how to read. No, I get it's a 7-2, but Aggro, they took the last map, and Honor needed 2 maps in order to overlap Aggro, and they couldn't get it. That is really good stuff from Aggro. They defend their first place position, and this has just been all Aggro all day. We have to keep talking about them. They are leading their group, and I'm pretty sure at this point, if they literally just don't go 0-2 every single map after this, they make it to playoffs. This is the first time that they have lost a map. So I don't see this, the fact that this is the first time that they've ever lost a map, I don't think that Aggro are going to slow down. I think that they're going to continue on, and they're going to make that playoff grind.
I mean, we're looking at the match summary. The crazy thing is the stats aren't that wildly different. Yes, you got Aero sitting at the top with 1.75 rating, but Eddie's 1.5. He was still very impactful. In fact, you got 3 players on the whole who have 77% cost. Eddie and Splash for Aggro, and then just Aero on the side of Honor. So it's a shame that the score went the way it did, but there was some highly impactful stuff being brought out by both teams, and I would not take the score line with a grain of salt. I honestly think it could have been far, far closer. And you look at that. On the whole, Eddie had the highest rating in this series. 1.44, 23 and 12 on the day. I mean, the guy was... I mean, you talk about those standout moments, those monumental efforts that players will put in to secure their team a win. Eddie did that time and time again this series.
Yeah, there have been some monumental plays, and it's interesting to see the entries kind of take a back seat. Eddie's on Sledge, right? He's on nade duty. He's also on Mira. Like, he's been one of the best sledges that we've seen, basically going up against Exile, who is, I mean, not only in Season 5, but also in Season 4, proven to be such a good nade player, such a good sledge player. But Eddie's challenging for that spot right now. Currently one of the highest rated players in the league. And this is only going to improve his score quite a bit. So, yeah, support players definitely coming out here to play today. And it's been so important. 1-1 tie. Honor don't get the best of it, though, because obviously they're lower in the points. But I get the best of it because my prediction's right.
And that's all that really matters as a caster at the end of the day. We just want to get those right. That's how we get our, we don't get paid in money, we get paid in exposure, and we only get paid in it if we get our predictions right. So unfortunately, someone is going to have to go and beg for some exposure scraps later on.
Oh boy, it's too meta. Yeah, but I don't think we have an interview, obviously, because it's a tie. But I wish I could. I had so many questions to ask. But yeah, we're gonna be right back here. I think that we are. Are we done? I think we're done. I think we're done until we go to series number 2. But
yeah, we're done, myself
done.
and Jazz. But there is another series. It's going to be Chief and McCready taking you through that one. So we will throw it to a break, and when you come back, you will be graced by their glorious faces. We'll see you next time, guys.